Have you ever felt like your workspace is kind of working against you? Well, that secret battle you're fighting for focus and creativity, it might not just be in your head. It's actually in the space all around you. Your desk, your computer desktop, maybe even the air you breathe. So today we're going to dig into the science of how our physical and digital environments are secretly shaping our work, our mood, and our very best ideas. All right, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll kick things off by unraveling this really fascinating idea called the clutter paradox. Then we'll get practical and talk about systems for taming both your physical and your digital chaos. After that, we'll look beyond just being tidy and explore how to design for genuine well-being. And finally, we'll tie it all together with this powerful concept of creating a truly intentional environment. Okay, first up, the clutter paradox. This is such a cool idea because it's a little counterintuitive. It turns out both messy and tidy spaces have these huge and totally different effects on how we think, feel, and even what we do. So, what does the research actually say? Well, a study from the University of Minnesota's Carlson School of Management found this amazing conflict. On one hand, tidy, orderly environments seem to kind of push us to be more conventional, to play by the rules. But on the other hand, messy spaces can actually spark more creativity and help us come up with brand new ideas. It's like this classic battle between order and inspiration. And get this, you can actually see these effects in action. In that same study, when people were put in a clean room, they were way more likely to donate money to charity and choose an apple over a chocolate bar. So the theory is that the orderly space is subtly telling our brains, hey, do the right thing and stick to social expectations. But before you decide to just embrace total chaos for the sake of your next big idea, there's a serious downside. As Populist Cleaning Co. points out, physical clutter really takes a toll on your brain. It can crank up our stress levels, drain our mental energy, and make it incredibly hard to focus on any one thing. Okay, so let's get practical. How can we bring some order to our physical world without, killing all our creative genius in the process? Good news is, we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We can actually borrow a super powerful framework from the world of lean manufacturing, which is even promoted by the US EPA. It's called the 5S system, and it's just a brilliant way to think about systematically cutting out waste and boosting your efficiency by getting your workplace truly organized. So let's break it down. First, you sort through all your stuff and get rid of what you honestly don't need. Second, you set in order whatever's left, giving everything a logical home where it's easy to find. Third is shine, which is exactly what it sounds like. Just clean the space. After that, you standardize, creating simple rules to keep things this way. And finally, number 5 is sustain, and this is often the hardest part. It's all about turning these actions into habits that actually stick. You know that same feeling of being totally overwhelmed? It absolutely applies to the clutter we can't even see. So let's tackle the modern frontier of chaos, our digital lives. I mean, as an article in PC Mag points out, we all know this feeling. An inbox that's overflowing, a desktop that's just a sea of random files, a phone with thousands of unsorted photos. It can be just as draining as a messy desk. This digital clutter weighs on us and makes it harder to find what we need, and it just depletes our mental batteries. Now, to fight back against this digital chaos, productivity expert Tiago Forte came up with this brilliantly simple system called Para. The whole idea is to organize your entire digital life into just 4 high-level folders: projects for stuff you're actively working on, areas for your long-term responsibilities like health or finances, resources for topics you might want to look at later, and archives for everything else that's done or inactive. Simple? Okay, but let's be real. Even with a great system in place, new files are constantly pouring in every single day. So how do we handle this constant flow without spending all our time just filing things? This is where automation is an absolute game changer. There are tools out there that can basically act like a personal assistant for your files. A fantastic example for Mac users is an app called Hazel. It automatically organizes files for you based on rules that you create. But the principle here is what's important. Use automation to handle the boring stuff. For instance, you can create a super simple rule like this one. And lots of systems can do similar things. You just tell the software to watch a folder, like your desktop. Then, the second a file shows up with screenshot in the name, boom, it instantly moves it to your screenshots folder. It's a set it and forget it solution that saves you time and, more importantly, prevents that slow buildup of clutter. So we've started to tame our physical and digital clutter. That's great. But what if our workspace could do more than just be not messy? Let's talk about how to design an environment that actively makes us healthier and more productive. This is about going beyond tidy, to creating a space that is truly healthy. And the payoff here is huge. Studies from workplace design experts show that a really well-optimized work environment, one that's designed with your well-being in mind, can boost your productivity by nearly 20%. That's a massive difference. And here's the crucial point. Well-being is about so much more than just decluttering. It's a whole package. We have to think about ergonomics to support our bodies, biophilic design, which means bringing nature in with plants and light, acoustic comfort so we can actually focus, and of course, good air and lighting to support our overall health. They all work together. Let's just take one of those things, biophilic design. Studies show that doing something as simple as adding a few plants to your workspace can improve your sense of well-being by 15%. It seems like our brains are just hardwired to be calmer and more focused when we're connected to a bit of nature. It's such a small change with a massive impact. Which brings us to our final and honestly most powerful idea. This whole thing isn't really about being perfectly neat versus perfectly messy. It's about being intentional. The real goal here is to stop letting our environment just happen to us, and instead, to start designing it for what we actually want to achieve. Think about it. Are you reacting to your space, or is your space serving you? That's a fundamental shift, moving from just reactive tidying to conscious, intentional design. This quote from that original Minnesota study just sums it up perfectly. The question isn't, is my space tidy or messy? The right question is, what behavior do I want right now? If you need to focus on tiny details, a tidy space is probably your best bet. But if you need to brainstorm some wild, out-of-the-box ideas, a little bit of managed chaos might be exactly what you need. The key is realizing your space is a powerful tool you get to control. And that leaves us with one final thought. Just take a look around you right now, at your physical desk and your digital one. What is your environment currently designed for? Is it set up for deep, focused work? Is it built for creative chaos and exploration? Or is it maybe not really designed for anything at all? The choice is yours to make.